What if a leader could transform a nation mired in chaos? Burkina Faso has certainly shifted under Captain Ibrahim Traore's leadership, particularly in its battle against insurgents. He leads with a fearlessness that doesn't waver, even in the face of death. Traore also challenged Africans with three key terms he believes should be eradicated from our mindset: ineptitude, treachery, and cowardice. These words, he argues, hold us back. So let's dive into why he says we should abandon them. Under his command, Burkina Faso has achieved what once seemed unattainable, sparking curiosity. How exactly did Traore turn the tide? What path did he follow to guide this nation toward resilience? Let's explore that together. With a strong cultural pride and a storied history, Burkina Faso stands tall in the fight against insurgencies, defying the odds. The nation, under Traore's leadership, is not only defending itself, but its sovereignty and dignity, even as the world shifts around it. It's redefining African resilience, challenging old narratives, and proving what's possible in the face of adversity. Back in 2022, Burkina Faso faced a serious security crisis, with insurgent groups controlling large portions of the country. The government's failures were exposed, especially during the tragic ambush of a military convoy in September, which resulted in significant casualties. But in the midst of this, Captain Ibrahim Traore stepped in. Through a decisive coup and strategic military actions, he aimed to liberate the nation from extremist threats. Since then, Burkina Faso has experienced significant changes. Traore's current leadership is slowly restoring peace, but how did he manage such a daunting task? To understand, we need to recognize how Burkina Faso ended up in such turmoil in the first place. The nation's instability didn't arise overnight. For years, it had grappled with political unrest and the ripple effects of conflicts in neighboring regions. This provided an opening for insurgent groups, fueled by a toxic mix of economic hardship, political neglect, and fallout from external conflicts. The collapse of Libya in 2011, in particular, unleashed a flood of weapons into the Sahel, empowering Islamist factions like Al-Qaeda and ISIS to expand into vulnerable areas like Burkina Faso. These extremist groups exploited local grievances such as poverty, unemployment, and marginalization, deepening the crisis. Yet, despite all these challenges, Traore's leadership is rewriting Burkina Faso's story, guiding the nation toward stability, sovereignty, and strength. They stormed border regions, recruiting disillusioned youth who felt abandoned, and began imposing harsh, rigid rules. Soon, entire towns and villages fell under their control, and local governments crumbled. The tipping point came on September 26, 2022. A convoy of 207 vehicles, traveling from Ouagadougou to Djibo, was ambushed by militants aligned with Al-Qaeda. This devastating attack claimed 37 lives and left 70 people missing, sending shockwaves through the nation and exposing just how deeply the insurgents had infiltrated the country. The government, led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Santiago de Miba, was caught off guard, utterly unprepared for such a blow. Public outrage exploded. Frustrated by the government's sluggish and ineffective response, people flooded the streets, demanding swift and decisive action. The underfunded and overstretched military struggled to maintain control, and as fear spread, so did the nation's resentment toward its leaders. Citizens felt abandoned, powerless in the face of a growing insurgency, and utterly let down by those in power. It was within this climate of desperation and chaos that Captain Ibrahim Traore emerged as a decisive figure. On September 30, 2022, Traore, alongside a group of like-minded military officers, executed a coup. But unlike previous coups in Burkina Faso's history, this one was born from a genuine desire to restore peace, not from personal gain or external pressure. Traore acted with precision and purpose. His forces swiftly took control of key military bases, state television, and government buildings without significant resistance. His message was clear: this was the start of a new era where the security and well-being of Burkina Faso's people would be the top priority. As Traore took the helm, many wondered what would set his leadership apart from that of his predecessors. How would he break the cycle of ineffective governance? A unique blend of strategic foresight, pragmatism, and an unwavering commitment to national security has defined his approach. Unlike previous leaders, Traore understood that tackling the insurgency required a comprehensive approach. He focused on rebuilding the military's strength, boosting morale, and fostering unity across the nation. What are your thoughts on the future of Burkina Faso under Traore's leadership? Share them in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content like this. Let's continue. Captain Ibrahim Traore's leadership isn't just about tactics, it's about a vision for a safer, stronger Burkina Faso. When Traore stepped into leadership, one of his first moves was to take a hard look at the state of Burkina Faso's military. He quickly identified key weaknesses: outdated equipment, inadequate training, and a lack of coordination between the different branches. It became clear to him that without modern weapons and better support, his forces wouldn't stand a chance against the insurgents. So, he prioritized upgrading the military. He fast-tracked the purchase of advanced weapons, improved logistics, and strengthened communication networks to ensure that troops had what they needed, both in terms of equipment and morale, to fight effectively. One of Traore's most striking qualities as a leader was his commitment to open communication. Unlike past leaders who preferred to stay behind the scenes, he made it a point to regularly address the public, speaking candidly about the challenges the country faced. Instead of shying away from the failures of previous administrations, he used them as a springboard for change. His direct approach struck a chord with the people, who were eager for honest leadership and bold action. But for Traore, fighting insurgencies wasn't just a military mission. It was a national effort that required everyone's involvement. From the outset, he worked to unite both soldiers and civilians around this cause. He regularly visited troops on the front lines and spent time with communities affected by terrorism, building trust and solidarity. His hands-on approach made him more than just a figurehead. He was a leader who faced the same risks and challenges as his people. A perfect example of Traore's leadership style was the operation to break the terrorist blockade around Chibo. This wasn't just about sending in the military. It was a well-planned mission that balanced military strategy with humanitarian efforts. Traore understood that winning the battle meant winning hearts and minds as well. After months of siege, the operation successfully delivered much-needed supplies to the city, securing a tactical victory and giving a major boost to national morale. With growing public support and a strengthened domestic strategy, Traore then turned his attention to forming international alliances. But what role did these partnerships play in shaping Burkina Faso's new path? How did they support the nation's efforts to defeat insurgencies? Realizing that Burkina Faso needed external help to strengthen its defenses, Traore sought new allies. Western nations offered little assistance, bogged down by bureaucracy and hesitation. Seeing the urgency, Traore turned to unconventional partners, most notably China. This strategic shift marked a turning point in Burkina Faso's fight against insurgency, offering new avenues of support that traditional alliances couldn't provide. China's involvement in Burkina Faso's fight against insurgency marked a significant shift in the geopolitical dynamics of the Sahel. While Western nations often tied their aid to strict conditions, China stepped in with a straightforward partnership, addressing Burkina Faso's immediate needs without complicated strings attached. Shortly after Captain Ibrahim Traore came to power, China promised multiple shipments of military supplies and advanced weaponry, delivering on that promise within weeks. This rapid response highlighted both the urgency of Burkina Faso's situation and China's willingness to support an independent, stable African nation. The impact of China's aid was both immediate and profound. The influx of modern weapons, machine guns, and a large stockpile of ammunition gave Burkina Faso's military the tools to finally confront insurgents on equal footing. But it wasn't just about the hardware. It also had a powerful psychological effect. For the first time, soldiers felt equipped to face the enemy head-on, and this newfound confidence led to a series of victories that boosted morale across the nation. China's involvement was about more than just military support. It signaled a broader shift in Africa's international relationships. By choosing to work closely with China, Traore sent a clear message. Burkina Faso was charting its own course, free from the influence of any one global power. This bold decision reverberated across the continent, prompting other African nations to reconsider their own foreign alliances. With China's backing, Burkina Faso was able to integrate new technologies into its military strategy. Traore's government invested in cutting-edge surveillance systems and drone capabilities, dramatically enhancing the military's ability to conduct targeted strikes and gather critical intelligence. Turkish-made drones like the Bayraktar TB2 and Akinci played a pivotal role in shifting the balance of power against insurgents. As Burkina Faso's military grew stronger and international support solidified, the challenge shifted to ensuring that these early gains weren't just temporary victories. What was Traore's plan to secure long-term stability and peace? Beyond the immediate successes on the battlefield, Traore's approach to counterinsurgency focused on building a sustainable strategy for lasting peace. One of his key policies was integrating advanced technology into the military's operations. The use of drones, particularly the Turkish Akinci and Bayraktar TB2 models, revolutionized how Burkina Faso conducted warfare, giving the country a modern edge in its fight against insurgents. Drones, once unimaginable for Burkina Faso, have now revolutionized the country's military capabilities, offering unmatched surveillance and precision strike power. These advanced tools allow the military to monitor vast areas, track insurgent movements, and target key threats with remarkable accuracy, all while minimizing the risk to civilian lives. With these drones, the military can achieve more with fewer resources, amplifying its effectiveness. But Captain Traore didn't stop at just deploying drones. He also invested in modern communication systems, making it easier for different branches of the military to coordinate their efforts. This led to quicker response times and more streamlined operations. On top of that, Traore's government established new intelligence-sharing protocols with regional allies, fostering greater collaboration in the fight against cross-border insurgencies. However, Traore's approach wasn't solely focused on military strength. He understood that winning the war against insurgency also meant addressing the deeper issues fueling extremism, political disenfranchisement, poverty, and lack of education. His administration launched several initiatives to promote development in regions hit by insurgencies. These included infrastructure projects, education programs, and reforms in local governance, all aimed at improving the quality of life and reducing the appeal of extremist ideologies. One of Traore's most innovative strategies was the use of psychological operations to undermine the insurgents' influence. Realizing that the battle was as much about winning hearts and minds as it was about physical combat, his government launched media campaigns that challenged extremist narratives. These campaigns highlighted the government's successes and exposed the brutal tactics of the rebels, painting a picture of a strong and prosperous Burkina Faso that could only be achieved through unity. In addition to these efforts, Traore sought to elevate the professionalism of Burkina Faso's military. He introduced new training programs focusing on urban warfare, guerrilla tactics, and counterinsurgency operations. These programs emphasized resilience and adaptability, preparing soldiers for the unique challenges posed by extremist groups in the Sahel. As these strategies gained momentum, the focus shifted from winning battles to maintaining stability in reclaimed areas. How would Traore ensure that these regions remained secure and that insurgents couldn't regroup? Traore's vision extends far beyond short-term military victories. His administration has rolled out a comprehensive plan to secure long-term peace and stability, recognizing that true, lasting peace requires a holistic approach. This multifaceted strategy aims to build a safe and prosperous Burkina Faso, ensuring that the hard-won gains in the fight against insurgency are not lost, but become the foundation for enduring national success. What do you think of Traore's long-term plan for Burkina Faso? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. A key pillar of Traore's strategy revolves around reintegrating former fighters who are ready to turn away from violence. His administration has launched initiatives to support these individuals in their recovery, offering them pathways to re-enter society through education, community service, and vocational training. This approach not only reduces the number of potential recruits for insurgent groups, but also addresses some of the socioeconomic issues that initially fueled extremism. Rebuilding basic infrastructure in areas liberated from rebel control is another top priority for Traore's government. Many of these regions have suffered from years of neglect, with roads, schools, and healthcare facilities either destroyed or in disrepair. By investing in these essential services, Traore aims to rebuild trust with the local communities, showing that the government is committed to their well-being and capable of providing the security and resources they need to thrive. On the regional front, Traore's administration is working closely with neighboring countries to strengthen border security and disrupt the movement of weapons and insurgents. This effort includes coordinated military operations, intelligence sharing, and dismantling smuggling networks that have long fueled conflict in the area. The goal is to create a more cohesive regional security framework, making it harder for extremist groups in the Sahel to operate or find safe havens. Beyond these security efforts, Traore is also working diligently to expand Burkina Faso's international partnerships to ensure ongoing support for both its security and development programs. While the alliance with China has been instrumental in providing rapid military aid, Traore understands the need for a broader coalition of allies to address the complex challenges Burkina Faso faces. This includes seeking assistance in areas like economic development, humanitarian relief, and peacekeeping from other African nations, the African Union, and international organizations. Maintaining public support is crucial to the success of Traore's initiatives. To keep the people informed and engaged, the government has invested in public outreach campaigns that highlight its achievements and foster a sense of national pride and unity. Regular updates on military successes, regained territories, and ongoing reconstruction efforts are all part of a broader plan to sustain morale and public confidence. Traore's administration has also focused on strengthening the country's legal and law enforcement systems to ensure that justice is served swiftly and fairly. This includes establishing special courts to handle insurgency-related cases and holding those responsible for violent crimes accountable. By demonstrating that Burkina Faso is a country where justice prevails, Traore aims to discredit extremist narratives that paint the state as corrupt or ineffective. At the heart of his approach is a focus on building community resilience. This effort is designed to ensure that, beyond military victories, Burkina Faso is equipped to maintain peace and security for the long haul, creating a future where extremist ideologies find no fertile ground to grow. Captain Ibrahim Traore has championed the creation of local defense groups backed by the military to boost security in remote and rural regions. These volunteer-run organizations work hand-in-hand with the armed forces, helping defend their communities from attacks and insurgent infiltration. This approach not only strengthens local security, but also fosters a sense of responsibility and ownership among the people. Under Traore's leadership, Burkina Faso's fight against insurgency isn't just a military operation. It's a broader effort that engages the entire population. It's a bold, multi-dimensional mission aimed at restoring peace, stability, and prosperity to a country that's faced prolonged challenges. By balancing immediate security needs with a focus on long-term goals and strategic partnerships, Traore has charted a new course for his nation. While much work remains, the progress made under his leadership is a source of hope, not just for Burkina Faso, but for all of Africa. It serves as a powerful reminder that African nations have the resilience, ingenuity, and strength to overcome even the toughest challenges. Burkina Faso's story isn't just about hardship, it's about perseverance and triumph, symbolizing the unwavering spirit of its people. Through his leadership, Captain Ibrahim Traore is not only reclaiming his country from extremist forces, but also redefining what it means for an African nation to stand strong in the face of adversity. Could other nations learn from Burkina Faso's example? Has Traore delivered on his promises? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you're interested in Africa's rich history, culture, and ongoing fight for sovereignty, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. By joining us, you're not just staying informed, you're becoming part of a movement to restore Africa's rightful place on the global stage. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.